So now we going to discuss about why the sun's atmosphere, that is the called corona, is hotter than its surface. Because we will explain in detail what are the dimensions of the sun, what are the internal and external structures, how the sun is made, and what are the layers of the sun. Everything we will discuss in detail. Why the sun's atmosphere or corona is hotter than its surface. For this, we have to know first a basic understanding of heat, transmission of heat, and from that we gonna discuss some physics, and later we will explain everything. What are the hypotheses the scientists put forward, and what are the missions that are now going to be sent to the space for finding out the sun's magnetic field, the reasons behind why the sun's atmosphere is hotter than its surface. It is a big mystery till now. So let us now discuss about how the transmission of heat, because this is the basic physics that need to be understand before knowing how the the sun's corona is hotter than the surface. Because is it a joke, right? So first we have to know about the transmission of heat. So the heat is transmitted in three ways. First one is conduction, and second one is convection, and third is radiation. Conduction is via direct contact. The conduction is direct flow of heat through a material resulting from physical contact, and the convection is nothing but the heat transfer takes place from a surface and adjacent fluid, whether the fluid is can be gas, air, or liquid, and by the flow of fluid from one place to another induced by the temperature. So in detail we'll discuss with these examples. These are the physics basics involved in the knowing this is the physics that is involved in knowing about the sun and its magnetic field. And next one is the radiation. The radiation is via electromagnetic radiation. No transfer medium is required, that is even in vacuum the electromagnetic radiation functions. It's the transfer of the thermal energy through the matter of space by electromagnetic waves. So these are the three mediums or the three types of how the heat can be transferred from one place to another. That is via conduction, that is direct to contact, and second one is convection, and the third thing is radiation. So if you see the examples clearly, see from the first thing is conduction. See from the ground, the ground heats the air. This is a clear example of the conduction, because there is a there is a transfer of heat from the ground surface to the air, because there is a contact between the air and the ground. So the ground heat is absorbed by the air when it touches the ground. So the ground heats the air. So this is the example of conduction, and this air travels from towards the away from the earth. So the warm air rises. So this is called convection. This is the example of convection. And the third one is radiation. The sun heats the ground. So this is the example of the radiation. So uh, so transmission of heat, are you able to understand? Conduction, convection, and radiation. So this is the physics involved with the help of heat. So this is the physics. So unlike conduction and convection, radiation, that is electromagnetic radiation, does not need matter to transfer heat. That is conduction and convection need matter. You can see here, it need matter like substance, like air, fluid, liquid. It need fluid or substance. Unlike the conduction and the convection, radiation, that is electromagnetic radiation, does not need a matter to transfer the heat. The energy is radiated from the sun through the vacuum of space at a speed of light. So energy is directly transmitted through the speed of light in the vacuum. That is called radiation. So the heat that we get from the sun is radiated. So the corona's high temperature, before going to know, this is the all the physics that is involved because of the heat. So in vacuum, so what we have learned till now, so conduction is not possible, convection is not possible, only radiation is possible in the space. That is only with the help of electromagnetic radiation, or you can know as quantum radiation or quantum mechanics. With the help of this that quantum, the heat is transferred from the space. So energy is radiated from the sun through the vacuum of space at a speed of light. Even you can some particles, it makes heat, the following particles of the earth, and even the skin also absorbs the heat from the sun. See, with the help of this, I want to ask one question. If we move away from the sun, because it's able to clearly know that mercury is hotter. and than the earth. Earth is hotter than the Jupiter or the Uranus. So it is it is a clear example or evidence that energy is radiated from the sun. Radiation is possible, but to our instance, what does it happen? Let us discuss clearly about the sun, internal structure of the sun. Before going to know about the theories, what are the hypotheses that are being put forward by the scientist, what are the assumptions that we are going to see in a clear discussion in detail. So this is the internal structure of a sun. First is the core. It is nearly 15 million Kelvin degree Celsius, 15 million or nearly Celsius or Kelvin minus 273, that is no problem. So nearly it is 15 million degree Celsius heat, it is there in the core. And next one is the radiative zone, and the third one is convective zone. So from the core, first thing is the radiative zone, second thing is the convective zone, and next photosphere comes. The photosphere is nothing but the surface. Both the photosphere and the chromosphere temperature ranges from 5800 degree Kelvin to 6000 degree Kelvin or 6000 degree Celsius, you can call. So this is the corona. You can see the outer flare, that is called corona. This is the whole structure of the sun. So core, radiative zone, convective zone, photosphere, chromosphere, and the corona. So these are all the layers of the sun. Sun's magnetic field rise through the convective zone and erupt through the photosphere into the chromosphere and the corona. That is, the magnetic field rises because see, there are charged particles inside the sun. All the plasma is nothing but it consists of total plasma. It is consists of a number of ions. See, it consists of ions, all nothing but. See, the farther away from the sun, the temperature should rises actually. That is Earth, Uranus, Mercury. How much we go farther away from the sun, the temperature should rise. But what happens in the sun? What happens with the sun is counterintuitive, because total the physics of near the sun is totally different. The corona is much hotter than the photosphere or chromosphere, because the corona is nearly around 15 nearly 5 to 10 million degrees Celsius, as much as the convective or radiative zone. That much temperature is there in the near the corona, nearly 5 to 10 million degree Kelvin. That much temperature is there near corona. The eruptions, the sun's magnetic field rise through the convective zone and erupt through the photosphere and chromosphere and corona. The eruptions lead to solar activity, which includes such phenomenon as sunspots, flares, and prominence and coronal mass ejections. That is, with the help of this, where the magnetic field starts of the sun from the chromosphere, and those enter into the corona. So this is about the sun's internal structure and what does the sun's, what are the actions that takes place near the sun. So let us look at clearly into the sun's anatomy. So this is the core, and that is the radiative zone, convective zone, and photosphere, chromosphere, and the corona. So the corona is the external atmosphere of the sun. Corona is the external atmosphere of the sun, but it is not the surface. Corona is not the surface. What is the surface? Photosphere and chromosphere are the surface of the sun. Corona is the flares. That the temperature in the corona is more than a million degrees. Surprisingly, much hotter than the temperature at the sun's surface, which is around 5500 degrees Celsius. So this is a big mystery. That is, corona to be as hot as it is. The astronomers think there has been totally different kind of some heating mechanism happening there, because it gets colder. Because usually farther you go away from the sun, you get a farther you get you it becomes colder when you go farther away from the heat source. So it is general physics of a radiation. But near the corona, it is as hot as hot than the surface of that sun, because the sun temperature is 5500 degrees Celsius. So this is a big mystery. So the corona's high temperature are a bit of a mystery, because imagine that you are sitting next to the campfire. It's nice and warm, but when you walk away from the fire, you feel cooler. This is the opposite of what seems to happen to the sun, because astronomers have been trying to solve this mystery for a long time. But the corona is in the outer layer of the sun's atmosphere, far from its surface, yet the corona is hundreds of times hotter than the sun's surface. See, the NASA mission called IRIS may have provided one possible answer, but the mission discovered packets of very hot materials called heat bombs that travel from the sun into the corona. because of that heat bombs only, heat bombs explode near the corona and the temperature rises. But this is just some assumptions or hypothesis that put forth by the NASA mission IRIS, but that is not the case that we are going to discuss in this video. We will clearly discuss what are the hypotheses till now, what are the till now what are the assumptions and hypotheses that are put forward by the scientist. We will see. So the first hypothesis is wave heating. So the first hypothesis is wave heating. So what is wave heating? Because the see, one thing we have to observe clearly. So what is made up of corona? Corona is made up of what? Because those are the flares near the surface of the sun, because the corona is outside the corona is it is far away from the distance of the core, because from the core there are it is radiative zone, convective zone, photosphere and chromosphere, and then corona. So what does first of all, before going to the effect or the physics that is going to take place near the corona, we have to know the what its physical and properties and the chemical properties, or what are the composition of the corona. So what is the corona basically consist of? So unlike the rest of the sun, corona is nothing but a plasma. Plasma is nothing but what you think of in a blood, that is it of liquid type, but this plasma contains basically a charged atoms, charged gas you can call, that forms when atoms, because this gas consists of a different thing, because highly active atoms, or you can call it as basically a charged gas you can call, that forms when atoms become so hot that their electrons break free from their orbits. When the electrons get sufficient energy, they will move to the next orbit. So much amount of energy the atoms are been getting that they are alternatively or continuously they are away from the orbits, they are break free from their orbits and continuously moving. So that is the gaseous state, that plasma. So corona consists of that plasma. So first hypothesis is the wave heating. So what is basically the wave heating is the strong waves of energy are created by turbulence on the sun's surface and then travel out to the corona. We can see that, right? The sun's where is the sun's surface? From chromosphere, photosphere, there is a heat waves coming towards, because of wave particles, not this is a wave. Waves are transmitted to the corona. The strong waves of energy are created by turbulence on the sun's surface and then travel out to the corona. The charged particles of plasma create the magnetic field, because when a charged particles move from one place to another, they obviously creates a magnetic field. But this magnetic field does not move exactly the same way as the particle move, because the particles move from the chromosphere and the photosphere to the corona. These magnetic field does not move in the same way exactly, doesn't move exactly the same way as the particles move, but it can change the strength and the direction as the wave travels, because the magnetic field obviously strengthens the wave particle, and the magnetism also gives the wave some extra energy to it. So because of this energy only, the heat, that much heat is produced near the corona, is one of the hypotheses given by some scientists, that the charged particles of the plasma create magnetic field. So this is one hypothesis. According to the hypothesis, as the wave moves away from the sun, all that energy eventually turns into heat, because the wave is moving away from the sun and all that energy eventually turns into heat. That makes the corona hotter, but it is still not enough to make the corona as hot it is, because the wave the electrons or the particles to reach to an extent, they release all the heat they required, they becomes stable. But according to the hypothesis, the waves move away from the sun, all that energy eventually turns into heat, but that makes corona hotter, this much hotter, but it is still not enough to make the corona as hot it is. Scientists found that the wave heating is enough to get the corona a temperature of nearly 1,000,000 of degrees Celsius, but the scientists have told by hypothesis that the possible temperature with the help of this wave heating is approximately 1,000,000 degrees Celsius. So this much amount of approximately, that is not above or not below, exactly below the point of 1,000,000 degrees Celsius, the wave heating, with the help of the wave heating hypothesis or the wave heating effect, there is the corona is much hotter than the sun's surface. So the scientists found out that the wave heating is enough to get the corona a temperature of nearly 1,000,000 degrees Celsius. The possible temperature is 1,000,000. But when there is a lot of solar activity, that corona can get up the wave, the heat Suppose this is normally you can get up to 1 million degrees Celsius, but when there is a lot of solar activity, that corona can get up to a 4 times hotter than the normal wave heating. Normal wave heating will get up to a 4 million degrees Celsius, but when the solar activity is high, the waves are traveling faster, so then you can expect a 4 times hotter temperature near a corona than the surface. So something has to be causing that extra boost. We need to know, because it not fully satisfies the reason that why the corona is hotter than the surface. So this is one hypothesis, wave heating. You have to remember this. And next hypothesis is magnetic reconnection. So magnetic reconnection is a physical process occurring in a highly conducting plasmas in which magnetic topology is rearranged and magnetic energy is converted into kinetic energy and the thermal energy and particle acceleration. So I think this definition we'll discuss once again after we'll seeing some videos. See some sample examples or some sample experiment I will show you now. After this we will look into the definition. So magnetic reconnection, what is actually magnetic reconnection? So first thing you have to note, that is magnetic reconnection takes place frequently in the space. This is a frequent activity that is going on in the space, because space consists of all the charged particles. So there is compulsory, obviously there is a magnetic field overlapping. So with the first thing is with the help of this magnetic field overlapping only, the magnetic reconnection takes place. You can give a similar definition that magnetic lines overlapping is nothing but the magnetic reconnection. The forming of new magnetic lines is called magnetic reconnection. But we will see some experiments or experimental sample videos from the space, and then we will see. See, you can see the sun flares or the corona, the waves or the flame that is going. You can see some corona effect, and this produces a huge amount of the heat waves towards the solar system, towards the earth. When that heat waves affect the our earth's magnetic field, see, you can see the waves are bending. You can see it is the solar flares are affecting the waves. So see, the lines come near, the electromagnetic lines come near, and see, new electric line is formed. Two combine, and there is a new formation of a uh, electromagnetic line, magnetic line of the earth. So this is the effect that is going to this is the effect that we can see with the help of the this is the effect that the earth takes. The earth has earth has such magnetic effect from the solar flare. So another video will see this.
On August 17, 2011, the Sun emitted a solar flare. Two of NASA's spacecraft, SDO and RESI, witnessed the event. They saw more than just the flare. They captured magnetic reconnection. Magnetic reconnection is when magnetic fields connect and disconnect, explosively transferring energy. Scientists believe magnetic reconnection drives almost every dynamic event on the Sun, including solar flares. While we cannot see magnetic field lines, NASA's SDO can observe solar particles that move along them, tracing out giant arcades of magnetic loops on the Sun's surface. Watch the magnetic structure in the background. The cusp flattens out on top. We see reconnection occur as an X shape begins to form and then splits, with half the solar material falling down and the other half escaping into space. A flare bursts from the arcade of loops and reconnection propagates further down the arcade. The observation is verified by RESI data. RESI saw pockets of high temperatures above and below the loops. This signature arrangement indicates reconnection. The two data sets provide visual evidence of reconnection producing a solar flare, and will help scientists understand the role magnetic reconnection plays in these amazing eruptions.
So, what does this magnetic reconnection is a physical process occurring in a highly conducting plasmas. So, what is a plasma? See, the corona is consist of the plasmas, right? So, the highly conducting plasmas near the corona are highly conducting. They are in a high active state. They are in a highly active state, and which because there is a magnetic field coming from the sun, and with the help of this magnetic topology, the magnetic lines the magnetic lines from the plasma, which with the help of this magnetic topology is rearranged, and the magnetic energy is converted into kinetic energy and the thermal energy. That is, when these two magnetic lines near the plasma, see, this is the with the help of that flare, the earth magnetic field is somewhat damaged in as you have seen here. Once again I'll play this. See, with the help of this flare, obviously there are so much magnetism is going on here. There is much physics going on here. But this magnetic effect, with the help of this magnetic effect, the magnetic field of the earth is getting affected. That is, magnetic reconnection of the earth magnetic lines are going to take place with the help of this heat waves that are coming from the sun. If that much heat waves are coming from the sun, the magnetic reconnection is taking place in the near the with the magnetic field lines of the earth. So just imagine how much magnetic reconnections can be taking place in the plasma itself. So there is a huge magnetic reconnections that are taking place in the sun near the plasma or corona. Or see, once again I will show you this.
On August 17, 2011, the sun emitted a solar flare. Two of NASA's spacecraft, SDO and RESI, witnessed the event. They saw more than just the flare. They captured magnetic reconnection. Magnetic reconnection is when magnetic fields connect and disconnect, explosively transferring energy. Scientists believe magnetic reconnection drives almost every dynamic event on the sun, including solar flares. While we cannot see magnetic field lines, NASA's SDO can observe solar particles that move along them, tracing out giant arcades of magnetic loops on the sun's surface. Watch the magnetic structure in the background. The cusp flattens out on top. We see reconnection occur as an X shape begins to form and then splits, with half the solar material falling down and the other half escaping into space. A flare bursts from the arcade of loops and reconnection propagates further down the arcade. The observation is verified by RESI data. RESI saw pockets of high temperatures above and below the loops. This signature arrangement indicates reconnection. The two data sets provide visual evidence of reconnection producing a solar flare, and will help scientists understand the role magnetic reconnection plays in these amazing eruptions.
So that is the magnetic reconnection. That is from the sun, the two when a flare when the flare or the plasma from a magnetic lines from the plasma comes when the both the directions are in opposite direction. See, that is I will draw here. See, when magnetic lines when the two magnetic lines are in opposite direction, when these two lines interact, there is a formation. They break into another two. So basically this is the magnetic reconnection. That is, there is a inward ambient plasma and there is a inward magnetic movement between the two magnetic lines. They break into other two magnetic plasma, that is magnetic lines. So when these breakage happen, when this breakdown happen, a huge amount of energy is released. So this can be the reason why the corona is so much hotter than the surface of the sun. So magnetic reconnection can be the one of the reason why the corona is hotter. Hope you understand with the help of this. So leftward magnetic field and this is the rightward magnetic field. When the opposite direction magnetic field, when the magnetic direction is in this direction and the other magnetic line is in the opposite directions magnetic lines, when they interact, basically they turn down into the another two magnetic lines. So this is called the magnetic when these two happen to create this there is a huge amount of energy is released. You can also see this magnetic topology changes the plasma heated and accelerated. See the gas, when these two interact and form out these two other magnetic field, when the magnetic reconnection takes place, at this position there is a huge amount of heat is released. With this heat creates a layer called corona. This is the one of the hypothesis. You can also see the magnetic lines how these form. See these two interact here. There is a inward flowing one magnetic field plasma, and this is one more magnetic line plasma. Both you have to observe, both are in opposite direction, and that gives to rise to a other magnetic field lines. So this is the at the center point, that is here a huge amount of energy is released in this process, in the in this creation process, in this heat creation process. That is two magnetic lines interact, and the plasma in between is accelerated, and and it is heated to a much harder level, and thus forms the heat. So now if you see the definition, magnetic reconnection hypothesis. Magnetic reconnection is a physical process occurring in highly conducting plasmas in which magnetic topology is rearranged and magnetic energy is converted to kinetic energy, thermal energy, and particle acceleration. So this possible temperature is around 1 to 5 million degrees Celsius. So this can be true as this is the ongoing clear hypothesis till now, which is believed for the sun's because of the sun's corona much hotter than the surface. This is the much believed hypothesis. Magnetic reconnection is a much believed hypothesis for the higher temperature, hotter temperature of the sun's corona than its sun's surface or chromosphere or photosphere. This is the hypothesis 2. And the next hypothesis is nanoflares. So this hypothesis of the microflares or nanoflares, you can call it as the flares basically. The hypothesis of microflares as a possible explanation of the coronal heating was first suggested by the Thomas Gold, and then later developed by Eugene Parker. Remember this name, Eugene Parker. We will see again this name Parker, Eugene Parker, because his name was kept for a NASA space mission that is sent to the near the moon. We will discuss later that this hypothesis basically was put forward by the explanation of the microflares as a possible explanation of the coronal heating was first suggested by Thomas Gold and later developed in the 19th century by the Eugene Parker. That gives a possible temperature of 5 to 10 million degrees Celsius. So basically what is a nanoflare? A nanoflare is a very small episodic heating event, but it clears a huge temperature. Episodic heating event which happens in the corona, the external atmosphere of the sun. So that is a possible. According to Parker, a nanoflare arises from an event of magnetic reconnection, because both are linked. How the magnetic reconnection? It is like a cycle process, chain process. Magnetic reconnection gives rise to nanoflares, and also nanoflares gives rise to magnetic field, and then magnetic field lines interact with each other because there is a continuous flow of magnetic field in the plasma of the corona, and that magnetic field lines interact and they releases magnetic waves with the help of the magnetic reconnection, and the magnetic reconnection produces a huge amount of nearly 10 to the power of 24 scales of energy is being released, which converts energy stored in the solar magnetic field into the motion of the plasma. So according to the Parker, a nanoflare arises from an event of magnetic reconnection which converts energy stored in the solar magnetic field into the motion of the plasma. So it is clear, magnetic reconnection converts the magnetic field in the plasma into the kinetic energy. The plasma motion as a fluid motion occurs at length scales so small that it is soon damped by the turbulence and then by the viscosity and energy, and is quickly converted into heat. So such a fraction of seconds, the plasma motion can be converted with the help of the turbulence, that is with the turbulence near the sun and the viscosity and the energy of the sun, and that energy is quickly converted into heat. So this is the possible definition of the nanoflares. So you can see here the nanoflares, how the nanoflares are going. These are the two images that are taken from the nanoflares that occur in the sun. With the help of these nanoflares, the huge amount of heat is created, and with the help of the this obviously enhances the magnetic reconnection process, and with the help of this magnetic reconnection process, nano flares again arises. It is a cycle chain between the magnetic reconnection and also the nano flares, and this with the help of this nano flares, the heat is released, because this nano flares, as soon as the nano flares are formed, the plasma near the gets heated and they form into heat. And see, I told the name Eugene Parker. See, on the name of the Eugene Parker, because he studied the magnetic solar waves, NASA is going to send the Parker solar probe into near the sun. What are the speciality of this Parker solar probe is nothing but, this Parker solar probe is the first probe that is sent near to the sun, with a distance nearly 3.9 miles. This is to be noted, just only 3.9 million miles. Where if you observe the distance, how much to know how much small distance there is from the sun and the probe. For example, the distance from the earth and the sun is nothing, is nearly 90 million miles. See, the distance from the sun and the earth is 90 million miles, and the distance from the Parker solar probe and sun is 3.9 million miles. So you can expect how much near to the surface. It consists of a carbon. It consists of a carbon made shield, carbon made shield that protects it from the sun's heat, and it absorbing material that is made. So it is the closest distance to the sun, and the distance not to scale, but it is a one of the closest distance probe that is being sent to the sun. And also NASA for the first time named a probe named Eugene Parker. So actually they want to say, NASA want to just to name it as a solar probe mission, but it has given respect, the name, the Eugene Parker name has been given to the this probe. So it is called Parker solar probe, and this is sent by the NASA. And one more, and the Indians also send the Aditya L1 mission. So Aditya will be the India's third big extraterrestrial outing after the moon and the Mars. So it basically you can see the quadrilateral gravity points. If you consider from the sun, it is in the L1 layer of between the sun and the earth. It is in the L1 layer. What is the L1 point is nothing but these satellites will face an equal gravitation forces from both sun and the earth, such that the fluctuations will be lessened, and the life or the durability of the probe or the satellite which is being sent to the in the Aditya L1 mission of the ISRO Indian can be sustained to a large time. But it is just only 9 it is just only like around 3 million or 3 million miles from the earth, I think so. It is just only the 3 million miles from the earth, and it is a 400 kg spacecraft to study about the sun, and it has 7 instruments to focus on the sun's outer corona, magnetic field, and the solar wind. And it's likely to launch in 2019-20 and the PSLV, and to orbit around 1.5 kilometers from the earth. So you can see, observe here, this is 1.5 million kilometers from the earth, whereas Parker mission is 3.9 miles from the sun, because it is much near to the sun than the Aditya L1 mission. But these are the, with the help of these two missions, Parker solar probe and Aditya L1 mission, we can able to know any future about the, we can able to know that the hypothesis, clarity about the hypothesis about the sun's corona. So thank you. So this is all about the magnetic reconnection and magnetic reconnection, wave heating, and the mystery and the corona. So this is all about the sun's atmosphere is hotter than the sun's surface. So we read about the transmission of heat and sun's internal structure, and so what is the problem, corona heating, and hypothesis 1 wave heating, hypothesis 2 magnetic reconnection, and hypothesis 3 nano flares, and the Parker solar probe Aditya L1 mission. So thank you.